Hello, and welcome to the Mary Mater Marvel Society.
You don't know what they have planned for you.
Well, we have a review planned for you. Some banter. Some quips, perhaps, even.
Perhaps.
Yeah, about Secret Invasion, the latest entry from the MCU.
Here it is.
And
We made it.
We made it here on the Mater Society. That's what we do.
Yeah, we barely made her, but we made her, and we're going to talk about her.
Yeah. I am your host for this evening, Davan, or am I?
Where are you? I don't know. How can I be sure?
You can't. You can't.
That's what the show led me to believe.
Everything's different now. Like,
right.
Everything's changed. I'm unsure about everything.
Yeah, me too. This whole show.
And Skrullator Dave over here, like my co-host, like, I don't know who you are. I can't be certain.
I don't know who I am either. So that's kind of part of the dilemma, you know. Get ready for spoilers.
Spoiler alert. We're definitely doing that.
This war is one I have to fight. Alone.
Yep. Well, not quite alone. But, so, opening thoughts?
Opening thoughts. We're talking about the Secret Invasion, right?
We are talking about Secret Invasion, 8-episode series on the Disney Pluses.
Was it 8? Is that how many I watched?
Wasn't
6.
it?
It was 6.
Was it 6? Oh, 6. My bad. 6.
I was like, it felt like 8 perhaps, but no, only 6.
Okay, so not positive opening thoughts from you, is it?
I would say I'm
And
coming
I know
in
it
hot.
says Jaemeel at the bottom, but maybe we see Jaemeel tonight, maybe we don't. There.
Maybe not. Sam asked if we're going to be covering Big Brother tonight. I guess it depends if Jameel's back or not. So we'll see.
If we ever find Jaemeel, many wonderful things could happen.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was already back in Toronto. So
that was Skrull Jaemeel.
He was a Skrull. So let me tell you about the show. I'll tell you what the show, Davan.
Yep.
It wasn't good. Okay. Overall, like there was some good performances. I think some of the actors really tried their hardest to really do some stuff here, and I appreciate a lot of that stuff. But overall, this story, I didn't care. Like the whole after this event, I was like, okay, I'm ready to move on to anything else. It was just sort of I was bored. Episodes ended abruptly. Like this
usually
stuff,
with a death.
Yeah, usually a death of a character, and I wasn't really into like a lot of it, and all this backstory with the Skrulls and stuff. I should have been more into it, but I wasn't, and there was just I found myself feeling lacking a lot. I think a lot of Samuel Jackson's the way they wrote him and the way he performed it, I was not super into it. Like, it didn't feel like the Nick Fury of some of the other stuff. Felt like a new take. And my hat's off to them for trying something new, but I wasn't super into it myself.
Okay. Well, let me hit you with a quick, but in the comics.
Sure.
So, I agree with much of what you said. And in the comics, this story is so much larger, and that's the appeal of this story, is that everyone could be a Skrull, and that meant all the superheroes, whereas this one, they specifically don't do that, because of course they can't afford that. Like, this series suffers from, like, budget, and not just in the amount of characters they can bring in. Like, Secret Invasion, and so they make that to MacGuffin. They're like, so the Skrulls are after all the superhero DNA, and that's why the superheroes can't be in it. But like this story had everybody in it from the comics, like everybody, and that's what made it so fun. Like Spider-Woman was a Skrull, like a whole bunch of people were Skrulls, and that was fun.
In the comics,
Marvel was a Skrull, yeah. In the comics, like so many people were Skrulls.
Right, and did that translate into this series for you?
No, not at all. So in this, they make it a very personal story. With Nick Fury, which is fine.
It should have been better.
Like it's fine to do a Fury thing. Look who it is. Jameel's here. Yeah, I was hitting a quick butt in the comics, saying how in the comics, as you probably know, Jaemeel, Everybody's in it. It's huge. Like everybody's like Spider-Woman's a Skrull, Miss Marvel's a Skrull. So many people are Skrulls, and that's what makes it fun. This there are no people. There's like like Everett Ross is a Skrull, and like spoilers. Where's that spoiler banner?
Look, the common thing
There
is
it is.
if you're here, you know we're going to be talking about spoilers.
Okay.
So, sorry, I'm late. Love the shirt,
worries.
Davan. It's like you are going to be where I just came from.
Exactly.
Hawaii?
I'm feeling Ivory myself. No, Jamaica.
It's island shirt.
Island shirt.
Exactly.
Yes.
To break out the Desmond Decker. That's what I say. I'm on a Desmond Decker kick lately.
Jaemeel, did you like this show?
Oh Lord.
Put you on the
Okay.
spot.
No, it's a fair question. I like parts of it, and there are moments that are good, but as a whole, this is hot garbage. It's really bad. It's a really bad series.
Well, geez. Those are some hot takes off the start from Cousin Dave here, our token mater, and Jaemeel.
What did I miss? I'm sorry. Quick.
Well, you missed the cool intro.
I didn't like it overall. There were some good performances, I thought, in times, and I thought the actors, a lot of them, tried their hardest with some of it. But overall, the story didn't work for me. I wasn't especially into Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury in this version. I wasn't really into it, and just that was my take. I guess.
I think if we're being perfectly honest, his version of Nick Fury in all of this MCU stuff isn't super compelling. Neither is the one in the comics really for me, but like a little more so than the MCU one. There's a little more mystique and stuff around the comic book one, but
fair enough.
He just plays Samuel L. Jackson and everything. So he's just Samuel L. Jackson, and you're supposed to believe Samuel L. Jackson is the know-it-all of the universe. And
yeah, Samuel L. Jackson with an eye patch, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like everyone came into this project with the right ideas and focus. Like, they didn't get Samuel Jackson to play this out of left field character. He's not a character actor. He's an actor who's traditionally known as playing a version of Samuel Jackson, right? But everyone else, I felt like they didn't come into this thinking like this is just a paycheck. I feel like everyone, for the most part, tried hard in terms of the acting, the actors.
Ben Mendelsohn, I don't know him from many things, but he's great. I love Ben Mendelsohn.
Davan, when you get a chance to watch his interview about Doctor Doom and how much he loves Doctor Doom.
Oh,
right?
He'd be a great Doom, but you can't do that now. Dang.
Well, when you just see his passion about it, right? And how much he doesn't like the Fantastic Four, you just feel like there is money left on the table with this guy. The way he performed and took a lot of this chicken shit salad script that he had and really tried to emote and bring forth like some kind of character that we can at least like be drawn to and care about. I appreciate that dude a lot, and you know what, I'm gonna look more into his catalog to see what else he's done, because dude rocks.
Yeah, probably in a bunch of Australian stuff. I think he's an Australian fella.
They're like, oh look, Emily Clark and thing all together.
Yeah,
oh
yeah, I mean,
Commonwealth.
She's okay and whatever, but she's never blown me away.
I think that this whole storyline with the Talos and the daughter and I don't know.
What's the daughter's name? What's
no.
Oh,
sorry. All right, well, that's
that was a
Gaia.
That wasn't a mark against you, Dave. I think it is the poor work done by the scriptwriters and the showrunner, because if I didn't have it put into my brain to make sure who people were, I would not know who people are.
Right. It seems like
because it didn't really do a good job of it.
Brian Tucker really wrote the show, basically. Kyle Bradstreet wrote a lot of it too. Ali Salim directed all 6 episodes. So, and Brian Tucker basically wrote every episode, co-wrote
So
every episode.
even that, I don't even think I would put it at their feet, because a lot of stuff feels very mandated, and it has felt very mandated for a while when it comes to the MCU, right? You can film a whole lot of stuff, but then it's like, oh, we got to change this, or we got to reshoot this. There's ADR for this, and so I'm quick to defend the creative minds of like a lot of these projects in the MCU that hasn't been hitting, and I feel like some of the mandates is the issue. Like Marvel as an entity needs to step back and let the creatives be creative.
No, well, that's often the case with these studios.
But this guy who wrote this show, Brian Tucker, the guy I mentioned, he only has written one thing before, which is this thing with Russell Crowe, called
Gladiator.
Broken City, with Mark Wahlberg, from 2013, so 10 years ago, and then he did this, and now this is his second thing ever.
So
Well, they've been
it's
doing
probably
that a
not
lot,
his.
though.
It's probably not his second thing though. He's probably done a whole bunch of stuff that hasn't gone into production or hasn't actually been made, but people have like read his stuff or seen his stuff. It happens all the time where it's like, oh, this is the up and coming person. And Marvel's doing it to get people on the cheap, really. That's
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Right, like the guy who directed this, he's not like any big director. He's directed a bunch of TV episodes, but like of different shows.
Russo's.
Grace Point, yeah. This guy's like,
They're looking for the next Russos,
Yeah.
these are just kind of like, they're not what you expect Marvel maybe would be hiring. They used to hire the best.
Really? Did they? Jon Favreau is not
Jon Favreau, are you going to take Jon Favreau's name in vain?
Oh, sorry, Zathora's Jon. Jon Favreau.
Favreau, I believe.
Yeah, it's-
Rounders.
No,
Or what was that
like-
one? What was it? Rounders?
yeah, Rounders and Maid, I think.
Yeah,
He's
no,
in Deep
was it
Impact.
Swingers?
Swing- Yeah, that,
One of
We're
those.
talking about the same one. We're talking about the same
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
He dies in Deep Impact. Spoilers.
Okay.
He created The Mandalorian, and he created the Boba Fett show. And
So more knocks against him is what you're telling me.
They got Kenneth Branagh. They got
yeah,
Grace,
Branagh.
what's her name? Grace Zhao, who did Eternals, which for whatever reason is listed as one of the worst rated Marvel properties, and it's not. It should not be recognized.
We gave it a
it's
7.3.
It's pretty good. It's just kind of boring.
We liked it mostly.
I liked it fine. It's
We didn't
just
blow
kind
us.
of-
It didn't blow us away. In terms
It's
of our
okay.
rating,
It being boring doesn't necessarily mean the attempt and the ambition that was presented wasn't there. And I rather more swings and misses than just bunts.
Well,
That
I'd
sometimes we
rather Thor: Love and Thunder have been something like that. So
The Eternals, right?
something more like Eternals.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're off topic. So I have to put one
Sorry.
of you guys on the spot here, as I often do. So who's gonna take us through the plot tonight? Are we gonna have Cloak and Daver with Mater,
Love it.
or
That's good.
should we, in these uncertain times, trust no one except Jaemeel?
Ooh.
I
Take
nominate
us through this
Jaemeel.
plot.
I'll put him up.
Well,
Whenever you say that, it just makes me want you to do it more.
Yeah, but that
Well-
makes me want you to do it more, and so we just go round and around, Jaemeel. So it's
Okay. Well, I watched.
Cousin Dave. I think
You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us, old friend.
I'm not.
so. I think Jaemeel.
Do you feel responsible?
I do.
Okay, then we shall trust no one except Jaemeel to take us through the plot of Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. I watched all of the episodes when they first aired, so
Me too.
I'm like very.
Oh, yeah,
I feel
off the
very
top of your
separated. Oh wait. Okay, so what we have is the show starting off with we start seeing a lot of the the Skrulls kind of organizing, and we have Maria Hill, if I remember correctly, trying to get in contact with uh, Nick Fury, who is still on Saber, and eventually comes down because we're getting information that there's something happening in terms of the Skrulls. So uh, uh, I know I'm missing out the initial point where we see some of the. Uh, I'm dying here. Some of the they're doing surveillance, and we see that what's his name from Black Panther? Jeez,
Everett
um,
Ross.
Everett Ross is being clued into a grand conspiracy that's happening, and then we see that Everett Ross kills the gentleman, takes the information, and tries to run off. He is eventually hunted down, right, and killed, and is revealed to be a Skrull, which is like, wow, oh my gosh! We just saw him in Black Panther. How long has he been a Skrull? And so, uh,
Was he a Skrull in
obviously,
Black Panther? Do we think
yo,
Probably.
yeah,
he was?
yeah.
Probably.
Oh wow!
So, as of
Rhodey's
right
been a
now,
Skrull since Endgame.
Since Endgame.
who's been a Skrull?
Rhodey.
Even before that,
So when we saw Rhodey in like Winter
they're saying
Soldier,
since Civil War.
Oh, since Civil War.
since Civil War, so in Endgame and in Infinity War.
It hasn't been confirmed, but we see him, and he's kind of at a loss that he can't walk.
Right.
So people assume that the switcheroo occurred during Civil War, but we don't know.
We don't really know. I'd like them to tell us, but we won't get to know, I guess, for a while. Will we?
Okay. So eventually this grand conspiracy that Nick Fury starts looking into with Marie Hill leads them to meet up with various different factions, including the Secret Service for the UK, played by Davan.
I don't know her.
She's been in a bunch of stuff. She's great. She's great.
She is great in this. I just want
Yeah.
her and Fury like buddy cop show, like instead of this.
I don't even want buddy cop. I just want them to work in like the same office and just butt heads with their totally different styles, right? And
Yeah.
one up each other, like this unromantic kind of will they won't they, and the will they won't they is who's gonna win, who's the better
Yeah.
spy, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see, right? Just a quick sidetrack overall. Marvel has done a great job of presenting ideas and concepts that I would love to be explored, but they don't, because they have this ongoing story that they have to tell. I would love to have the spy show that I just mentioned, but it's going to take away from the ongoing narrative of the MCU in general, right? We see that happen all the time, right? What's happening with the 10 rings? Would love to see, a deep dive into that, or some long tournament with Shang-Chi, and but of course the train has to keep on, rolling. That's the unfortunate part about the MCU. So, eventually they get some intel, and they're at in Russia, supposed to stop this terrorist attack from happening. Uh, Talos, Maria Hill, and Nick Fury. And what ends up happening is the information was not fully realized. They were chasing the wrong people. There was a switcheroo. The bombs were set off. Nick Fury appears to kill Maria Hill, but it's actually our big bad, Gravik. Look at the graphic here.
So, how do you guys feel about the death of Maria Hill? Because she really died, right?
Yo, yeah. Well,
She's
it's
dead
fine.
for
They
now.
weren't going to use her for anything else. So whatever.
Yeah, she might as well just have a big exit. She still got paid throughout this series because anytime they used a clip from her, they put her as a special guest. She was smart enough to put that in her contract.
Very smart.
Will you miss her?
She
I think
good. I
Colby's
would have liked to have seen her more in this show.
Yeah.
But
she. Oh my gosh, she would have done so much better. Like it felt like there was a lack of characters, a lack of players on the board.
yeah.
Right.
The opposite of the comics thing that I was saying earlier. This story was supposed to be so big, and it just felt so small.
But even just for Nick Fury to do exposition, it always seemed like a chore throughout this series. It's like, oh, well, we got to get Fury into a room with someone, and then he goes off and is like, remember how we blah blah blah? Let me talk about something to put actual context in this sequence of what's going to happen. It didn't really flow like an actual proper show, right? Things shouldn't be a mystery entirely for the audience in terms of people and their motivations. For some, yes, but not for like even your main characters. Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way. Right? So
removes
obviously
the attachment to the characters in the
and their attempts to like do so is like, we're going to talk about Nick Fury when he was younger, and we learn more about his parents, right? And whip-de-doo and his relationship that doesn't really play a major part in this story and is kind of thrown away at the end of the show. It just
should we address the controversy?
Yes, let's do it. Go into the credits.
So
what's the controversy?
What do we think? That's the controversy right there.
The intro credits was made via AI.
Oh, AI music and AI visuals?
I think it's AI visuals.
AI visuals.
The music was nothing.
I watched it a couple times. I thought the music was kind of interesting, but kind of loud. It was also the visuals I didn't find. I watched it once. I was like, that's kind of weird, and then I forgot about it. It was sort of forgettable.
Davan, I know you have a lot to say on this, so I'll be quick with what I'm going to say.
I don't have much to say on this.
Oh, really?
A little maybe.
Do you want me to go last then? Because I have.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, I don't like them taking away jobs from artists. And do I think that they just did it to save money? Yes. I mean, they still had to have somebody to curate the AI. I mean, AI is not an employee. You still have to have somebody doing that. But, I mean, it's still not the same as hiring an artist. It's an odd choice in the controversial times with AI for them to make. It sort of fits the theme, I guess. They're like, yeah, but it's weird that way. Just like Skrulls are weird. Get it? Like yeah, well, I guess. But I don't know. What do you think?
Okay.
I don't like AI in general, though. Like, get it out of my face. I don't play with it.
I don't have the same misgivings about AI in general as you do, but at the end of the day, you're supposed to use AI to make a better quality piece of work, and that looks like a big piece of shit. It looks like complete garbage. You can get any grad school animator, right? Yeah. Give them a computer in 3 months, and they could make something 1 billion times better than that, right? It's weird. And you get the right animator, it can look weirder and more applicable to the actual show that you're presenting. It just seems lazy.
They have the access to all the best artists. They could have friend of the show David Cutler draw those credits. Friend of the show Adam Gorham draw those credits.
Like
come on now.
The amount that they're paying AI curators for that job, right? They can pay interns to do it. Right.
It seems like pretty evident that they kind of were cheap on the budget here in a few ways, in a couple areas.
Samuel L. Jackson takes half of it.
Right.
Well, this show was very expensive.
Samuel L. Jackson's very expensive.
No, just even for the
all the Skrulls and all that special effects.
No, sorry, not the AI, the CGI. Yes, for the Skrulls and the special effects and everything like that.
Which looked okay.
You know what? It didn't have to. It like okay. Here's ultimately my problem with this show. This is supposed to be a spycraft show, right? And what did it boil down to? You know, two super powered beings punching
Yeah.
each other,
Right.
right? And an energy blast to finish it off,
And now
right?
this MacGuffin
That's not
character
capped. Like
just
people,
floating out
people
there
want
in
to
the
see a
ether.
sequel to Winter Soldier. And what was Winter Soldier? Practical fighting,
Oh
right?
yeah.
You know,
Intrigue. It was awesome.
intrigue,
Tense.
right?
Very tense.
Right? Misdirection, character, and conflict being the focus of it. And a lot of it is the major players never getting in contact, being totally away, talking to underlings, and then just, you know, walking back and forth. There's a lot of walking in this show, right? That didn't really need to be seen, right? Chase sequences that weren't really chase sequences, right?
Yeah.
I like
There were a
I
lot of things like
struggle
that.
I struggle to do this recap because there isn't that much. There was a lot of like, oh, I think this is going to happen, and nothing happens. So you know what, Davin, I apologize. Dave, I apologize.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
going to blow through it. No,
Do
straight
it.
up. I'm going to
No,
blow
I
through
want
it.
you to
Yeah,
blow through it.
blow
That's all
through
I
it
can
quick.
do with this.
Okay.
Yeah. There's you can't
Rhea's
like
dead.
take us
Rhea's
through
dead.
every plot point.
Fury meets his mom, her mom.
Yeah.
Mom blames her. Whoop de doo. Right? So USA is now blaming Fury about what happened. You know, we see you know, Rhodey, he comes talk to Nick Fury. Something seems up, but you know, they're not really telling us, right? Goes on. Graphic is doing stuff. We don't really care. Supposedly, they have the ability to make super scrubs. Gaia, super scrubs. Super Skrulls. Gaia is conflicted with the situation, obviously. Gaia is also looking like a double agent with her father from early in the show, like it wasn't like a big reveal or anything like that. Anyways,
Got
Gravik is
pipes.
playing. She got pipes. Gravix has this big end game. Seems super smart, but he's not telling anyone his plan, nor the audience. Anyways,
And classic villain, just too cruel to have anyone follow you loyally.
yeah.
Yeah.
Classic villain. Kind of cliche. Wasn't a
Talos
fan.
and Fury go back and forth about their different beliefs about what happened. It's revealed Fury's a scumbag and didn't keep his promises. Carol wants to protect everyone except the people that she actually promised that she was going to protect. Eventually, eventually, the UK agent. She was able to actually do a good job and figure out things that
She's a Union Jack. The
Union
Farnsworths
Jack.
are all Union Jacks.
She was actually able to do spy work and actually learn things throughout the show, right?
Mhm.
And you know,
She
she
was
was the
awesome.
actual. Yeah, she was awesome in this. Eventually,
Olivia Colman, I believe, is the
Olivia
actress.
Colman.
She's very good in this.
She was
Yep.
good in Hot Fuzz too, as
Oh.
well. She's the one that always used to say the dirty things. Was it it's police force? It's like not policeman. It's like, oh, I would like a little man force too. You know. Anyways, poor version of that joke. Eventually, Gravik makes a play to attack the president. Rhodey fires Fury. We reveal that Rhodey's a Skrull, a
Yeah.
female Skrull.
Rava.
And how important is that?
Important. Very important.
Not important whatsoever. Could have gave no name because it's dead, right? And didn't really have any type of connection unless to Gravix. So useless. Didn't have to name the person at all. Anyways, Gravik attacks the president. You know, under the guise that it was a Russian, so that the president will try to do a military strike against Russia, who he used Rhodey to make USA believe that they're working with the Skrulls. Talos sacrifices himself to protect the president, who's in a coma, and Fury takes away, but not before Talos is killed by Gravix. So then Rhodey tries to get to the president to, tell lies about Fury. Fury has to run away, blah, blah, blah. Rhodey talks to the president. President's like, oh my gosh. Eventually, Fury talks to Gravix and decides to do a final confrontation. Sends Gaia to confront Gravix, but not before Gaia turns herself
Don't
into a
forget about
Super
her.
Skrull. Her who?
Fury's wife.
Yeah,
Who?
Vara.
What's her name? Vara. Do you have a
Priscilla.
list of names there in front of you?
I do. I have a list here.
He definitely does.
Because
Priscilla,
regardless
yeah.
of how much I actually did like her performance,
She was good.
what does she, the overall plot, what does she do?
She's Mrs.
She's
Fury.
just Fury's connection.
Yeah,
to the
exactly.
Skrulls.
Exactly. Skipping over her completely.
Fury
right?
married a Skrull.
And what does that do?
I don't know.
It just makes him more of a hypocrite.
It's just them trying to make this story personal for him. Like, it makes no sense for him to just be like, yeah, I'll handle this world crisis all by myself when I know all these friggin' superheroes. But like, he doesn't even need to know superheroes. That choice.
He just needs to. He could have got Winter Soldier. Could have got Bucky to come and help him. Just Bucky.
could have solved this. No problem.
Just Bucky.
Just Bucky. Yeah.
It's not like he's. I'm gonna call the
Falcon.
Hulk.
That's what
like,
Captain Americas are for, right? Like,
well, Captain America's a little bit too flashy right now.
yeah, right. Maybe a little too flat.
Like,
Bucky,
you get
then.
Bucky.
He's got the spycraft. Yeah.
Get Bucky and get Natasha's sister, the new Black Widow,
yeah.
Elena. Yeah, right. Solve the issue in like 2 episodes. Bam. Done.
Oh,
Right?
Elena would have made this show a lot better.
Fury.
Was Gravik a
Yeah.
comic book character?
No.
You sure?
Yeah. I have a huge Skrull army in HeroClix because I'm a big Skrull guy. See, that's another thing a letdown for me in this. I love Skrulls. No, none of them are named Gravik.
Anyways, let me finish this off because we're at the tail end. Fury does a switcheroo because Gaia pretends to be Fury at the confrontation with Talos. They have a big superhero fight. Gaia kills him, and then hooks up with the Blackjack with the UK. Fury, on the other hand, goes to save the president, stop him from releasing all-out nuclear war, and convinces the president that Rhodey is a Skrull by literally killing Rhodey Skrull. Right. Also, Gaia releases all the people that were captured by the Skrulls, and were double
Their
agents
pods.
throughout the world.
Like Aaron
And-
Ross. Like
Yeah.
Rhodey.
Yeah.
So the president decide, Fury saving him again and revealing that Rhodey is, a Skrull, has declared all-out war against any non-Earth entity
Goes a
or
bit far.
combatant, right? And is
But we already know what happens there.
yeah,
with him.
it's a bad thing. At the same time, you start seeing various groups throughout the world start killing off any Skrull that they suspect, whether they actually may or may not, because the prime minister, who was originally a Skrull, right, was originally replaced with a Skrull, but then later was
Restored.
left and rescued the real one. When she took back office, she was still gunned down because they suspected that she was still the Skrull. So that's it. That's the series in a nutshell. And
So,
Fury goes back up to Saber with his wife.
yeah, exactly.
That's it.
There you go.
After some kissing
Yeah,
with
some smoochy smooch.
the green fanged Skrull and the
So, I just have another quick, but in the comics.
But in the comics, It was
But
much
in the
better.
Well,
Is Fury married to a Skrull in the comics?
no.
No.
The original Nick Fury's grandkid is the more Samuel L. Jackson style Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Is he married to a
Two Nick
Skrull?
Furies. No. That we know of.
Is anyone married to a Skrull?
Human Torch was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
A few people were married to Skrulls, definitely. I think Mary
Yeah.
Jane might even been a Skrull. Was she? But anyway, but in the comics,
But in the
So-
comics.
In the comics, it was
Hold
good.
I forget what I was gonna say for them, but in the comics now it'll come back to me. But one thing I find strange, and I think what's getting a lot of the blowback on a lot of these MCU Disney Plus series is they seem to be able to accomplish a lot more in a 2-hour movie than they do in these 6 to 8 hour, 10-hour. Yes, exactly. But they don't have to do that. They don't have to stretch it like that.
Yeah.
There's
That,
more
I was doing
story
the
that can
international
be told.
sign of stretching stuff out.
Yes,
They would be better off to
exactly.
make a better
But-
movie, like a tighter movie, like something that's a little,
Not even a movie. It doesn't even have to be a movie. It could just be a 45-minute
more story.
special. Just
or tell
45-minute
more story.
special. Yeah.
Make this story bigger,
But what? Okay, you said that. Do you think that this was a sequel or a spin-off of Winter Soldier or Captain Marvel?
All of them.
I know what I was
Avengers?
gonna say now.
Okay. It is a
So-
sequel to Winter Soldier, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, WandaVision, and am I missing one more? At least those.
So, I remember my butt in the comics. So,
But in the comics.
what they sort of do a little nod to there at the end is the comic that was called the Skrull Kill Squad. That was a comic that came out after Secret Invasion, where they actually had a squad that went around killing Skrulls. So that was real. So that was just the Skrull Kill Squad. That was kind of cool, actually. But the thing about that president, so he's gone mad, basically. And he's
Ritson.
become this, like, almost anti-mutant kind of president that you'd see in the M.M.M.S comics. But we know he's not going to last, because we know Harrison Ford plays the president.
Everett Ross,
And-
Thunderbolt
yeah.
Ross is going to
So
take over.
Yeah.
So Everett Ross is going to defeat him in an election.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt Ross.
Not Everett Ross, Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
Played by Harrison Ford.
Oh, the other
So-
Ross.
Yeah, that's
Red Hawk.
Betty Ross's father.
Yeah.
Right. And Everett Ross is no relation.
No. Just a lot
Or
of Ross.
is he?
Or
Well, in the MCU, who knows? But yeah. So, well,
but I will say, what we're gonna see is okay. You know what? I'll leave that to the
memorable
end.
Marvel moments. Were there any good? Where was the good? Let's find the good in here for a minute. So I liked that scene with Talos and Fury on the train.
That was good.
That was a good scene. Strength of Talos or Ben Mendelsohn's acting there.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So the scene with Fury and Rhodey was pretty good. A couple of their scenes together.
The one
That
where
wasn't
we
really
know
Rhodey.
that he's at the hotel, or the one at the restaurant.
Both actually, but
Okay.
with the one where they were drinking.
Yeah, that's the hotel.
Yeah.
That was okay,
That-
but
That was the best stuff for me. Yeah.
that's as good as it got.
Dave,
And-
tell us.
There's nothing to say. What's there to say? Like, what was like the best thing in here? There was nothing. There was
What was your
literally
favorite
nothing.
part? You didn't have a favorite part?
No, like I don't think so.
I was insulted by the question. Of course I don't in this thing.
I'm struggling to think about what I liked. That speech the only thing I kind of enjoyed was at the end where what's his name, the Gravik, he gives that like speech about how we're in the face of the first guy, Fury got him to kill, and blah blah blah, right? And I was like, that was a pretty good speech, but in the end, it's all undone because it's not really Fury, it's Emilia Clarke as Gaia, who's pretending to be Fury. So Fury never even heard that, so it didn't even matter. So I was like, this whole thing is a farce. This whole thing doesn't matter. This whole thing is just yeah. We get down to these two super Skrulls fighting each other at the end. That was boring. But
It was boring.
but in terms of some of what Gravik's final like speeches were, they were pretty good. But then they were forgotten anyway. They, no one was no, you know. So it was just like blah blah
Okay.
blah.
So I have two.
Okay.
I did actually like the uh, wife of Fury, that whole conversation that they had. You know, when not the first time, but the
Yeah.
second time when they were
About their
actually
marriage.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought that
if
was
they
great.
if they would have married each other had they known, and that type of stuff. Like,
I thought that was good. Second
Yeah.
part is Blackjack, who we're talking about, the spy. Her
Union
coming into the investigation um, of the interrogation and closing the door and like doing the interrogation and knowing exactly how to leave. That was awesome. I thought she was great. That was a great moment in that series.
Oh, and also the other moment between Fury and her, where she's like, "Don't be so like spy and suspicious, there, Fury." He's like, "You're the one who taught me that only dead men keep secrets." Like, you're worse than me. He's like,
I liked
yeah.
that one scene where Fury and his wife there, like they feel like they have to take the only one out, and they shoot, but they both intentionally miss.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know if this means that we should renew our vows or get divorced. And
Yeah,
it's kind of a funny line. That's about as good as it got, guys. Like that
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
that was like that's like a little chuckle moment at best. You
I
know,
think
it was kind of.
Do we have any? Let's say it's all curmudgeoned. What are the biggest nitpicks? For me, it's just like now there's this Super Skrull character that's even more powerful than Super Skrull. Super Skrull just had the powers of the Fantastic Four, which if he uses Sue's powers to ultimate capacity and Johnny's, that's still pretty good. But like this Super Skrull has an insane amount.
The powers of the entire
the list
Avengers.
is like
More
pretty
more
much.
than the
And,
Avengers.
like Captain Marvel, like
and
ridiculous.
the Guardians and all these
Guardians of the Galaxy, Groot,
And
Drax,
Ghost.
like Ghost, like it's nuts.
the Harvest.
A frost giant, like tons of things.
Yeah.
So and now that character's just out there and then working for British intelligence. It looks like, but so like that's just too big of a MacGuffin character to just be out there on Earth. Like,
Yeah, I don't like that either. I didn't need
Okay,
that.
I'll wait a second before I kind of put my feelings forth with that. I'll rebut that a little bit.
okay, go for it.
Anything else, Dave, that you didn't like?
That I didn't like. I didn't like it at
Yeah.
all. Mostly, like except for the couple things I mentioned, I did like. So if you touch on something new, chances are I'm not going to like it. So
Okay.
Please proceed.
I'll first state what I didn't like, and then I'll talk about what Davan just referred to. I didn't like the score. I thought it was boring, especially for a spycraft show. I didn't like the.
Boom, 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 boom. Need more of that. Boom, 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 boom.
I found a lot of the stunt work to be mediocre and subpar. I thought there should have been more practical stuff in general for this series.
There's a lot of stuff they didn't seem to want to pay for. I'm not sure where all the budget went if it wasn't to Samuel L. Jackson. There's a lot of stuff they didn't
If you do
want to
stuff
pay
with practical instead of using CGI, then you save a lot of money. Look, I don't need to see someone changing from something to another. You go pull She-Hulk,
Cut.
Get the camera away, bring it back, take that money,
That's
put into
fine.
stunt work. It works fine. Okay, right? Any kid working in high school with like Adobe Photoshop and Premiere can do like a decent enough special effect that could save money instead of this like ILM, $1 million for like 25 different like reveals, right? It's lame. Davin,
Mm.
I think that Gaia's emergence is the start of something that's going to pay off in the long run. How well they execute it, who knows? But the harvest, and I've seen other people talk about this theory, the harvest will eventually lead to the century, right?
Well, the century's
Right?
coming. Apparently, it's Glenn from The Walking Dead.
We'll see. We'll see. Right?
Yeah, we'll see.
Then obviously he's going to get out of control, right? And that should kind of jive with when mutants are revealed. And from a presidential or platform, they're like, okay, look, first we started off with like super soldiers, it didn't work. We tried to get like special beings, it didn't work. You know what we can trust? Robots. Or in this case, sentinels. Right?
Boom, 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 boom.
And I think
Sentinels
that's
are coming.
the
Sentinels are
natural
definitely
progression. I think that's a natural progression from the USA policy. Right?
You don't
Just
think
send them.
Ultron scared them off of robots?
No. No, because okay. What do they know about Ultron, really?
He's a robot.
That's it. It was a
Trying to
robot
kill
that Stark made.
he dropped an entire city from the sky.
Yeah.
They know that.
He tried
Yeah.
to annihilate the entire planet.
And they probably revealed that they used one of the stones to make it, right? To empower it. They're like, okay, we're not going to use a stone. We're going to just use our own technology, right?
By
And
this
just
nice
have them as,
Gyrick fellow.
yes,
This Henry Peter Gyrick.
I agree that there's like it makes sense that this Skrull paranoia and sort of like the madness that seems to be implied here that would follow post blip as well is also going to maybe lead into the X-Men and like like people's reaction to mutants maybe being very irrational because there's been sort of this progression in this universe of on this Earth where shit's got real. And I think the idea of mutants maybe being sort of persecuted, which I don't think would necessarily be the case today, but would feel more real in this world, in this time.
but as Guardians have to leave Earth, right? At this point,
The Guardians,
as Guardians,
Asgardians.
Guardians, well, they're pretty isolated up there in the Norway or wherever they're living, so they're fine.
I can't imagine with a president with having that mandate going to allow as Guardians and their technology to be on Earth.
Good luck making them leave.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna go. That's his jurisdiction. I don't think Ritz and I don't think Thunderbolt Ross is gonna get involved with that either. He'll be generous. It's really between for Norway to figure out.
Well, it is like overall, there's a lot of players on the board right now when you think about it for the MCU, because you have the Asgardians, you have the Skrulls, you have the Wakandans, you have the Talokan, right? The remnants
The
of
Kree.
any other bad guy that's happened before, whether it be Ultron, whether it be the Ten Rings, whether it be like there's so many different like factions and stuff that is really at play that kind of seems weird that it's not being addressed. There's a gigantic friggin' Siestral sticking out.
Celestial, yeah.
It's like
Yeah. No one's talked about that yet. Still.
eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Eternals 2, if it ever gets made.
10 years. Look, I would look forward to Eternals 2, but the only problem is a lot of the charm I liked was, this long period story over the years, right? So, are we going to see what happened to? This is what they were doing in the '60s. It's like, no, I don't really care. They were at
It has
Woodstock.
to become a big cosmic space epic.
Yeah,
It has to
they need to go
cosmic.
into space. So
Yeah.
Harry Styles needs to make his big space opera movie.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Harry Styles, he's an Eternal now.
Well, should we do ratings?
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
You want to do that now? Okay, sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Dave, you just seem totally like you're like, I hate this. I hate this show. I'm so
Well,
bored.
I try. I try.
You
Uh,
tried, Dave. I do. I do
Mhm.
believe you do.
yeah. So okay, guys. Do you want me to go first?
Please do.
I've been thinking hard about it, and I feel like I'm settling. My gut is settling on 2.5.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go lower.
It's better than the Guardians Holiday special. I'll say that.
Not for me. No, I like the
Oh,
Guardians Holiday special, but
I did like the holidays special. I give it a 6.
yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't like it that much.
I like the holiday special better than this. Did I though? Davin, hold on. Give me a second.
Yeah, I can go in here. Okay, so for this, for me, is like
Yeah, okay.
Like-
I know what give me a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5.
yeah, 5.
5 from Davan. We're averaging a 4.2 here.
Show was not good. Like, what can we do?
Yeah, it's that's the
But you know, I
lowest
wanted to
rating
watch
since
each
I Am
episode,
Groot.
which is more than like.
This is one of the lowest ratings. Period.
What did I give a 3 there? I Am Groot. Oh yeah, this is better than I Am Groot.
What did you
Oh,
give
yeah.
a 3?
Yeah, it was
I'm Groot. Yeah,
Yeah, this is
look
better.
at that one. That one. I love
It was
it.
awful. I didn't like the holiday special. It was just awful.
Oh, you like it just as much as Love and Thunder? Love and Thunder, you gave it 5.
No, I'll give this a 4.
There
Yeah,
you
no,
go.
no. Yeah, I did like it as much as Love and Thunder. The Love
Okay.
and Thunder, I like.
So you're good. You're good with your
betrayed-
5.
It betrayed too many great storylines. It deserves a 0 for that almost.
The IMDb rating is 6.1, guys, on this right now.
It's too high. Too
Yeah,
high.
well, a little high. Yeah.
Is this what? I don't know what year this is supposed to be in. 2025.
They're a couple
Yeah.
years ahead of us.
Yeah, I think it's 2025.
All right, we'll go with that. All right. Well, Secret Invasion is over. Thanks,
Yeah.
Skrulls. I guess.
Thank the
For that.
scroll. Looking forward to Loki.
Loki season 2's next. Is that what comes next? Okay, that's good. I'm good for that.
There's the Marvels movie might be out next.
Marvels is November, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Do you guys want to know any trivia about this movie?
Sure.
Oh, so we getting delectable details discovered by Dave.
We are. Some details discovered. The original Secret Invasion comic was an event that affected the whole Earth. The writers had to scale the scope down and made it a spy thriller instead,
Exactly.
starring Nick Fury and Talos. Principal
Not the
photography ended in April of 2022, but it was reported that in June that the series is set to have some reshoots starting in mid-July. So they
Hands in the pot. Hands in the pot.
had some hands in the pot. There must have been some meddling here. Emilia Clarke is the 11th Game of Thrones actor to come into the MCU after a whole bunch of other people. You know, they're saying that there might be a curse to the Game of Thrones actors. You know,
Well, a lot of them in Eternals, so.
yeah, and that did do so well. Samuel Jackson, Emilia Clarke, and Ben Mendelsohn all appeared in the Star Wars saga as various characters.
Maybe that's the curse.
Kingsley Ben-Adir, who plays Gravik, adopts a Welsh accent for this role. He says his reasons for this were, we were looking at different places he could be from. Obviously, in Birmingham had been done. Peaky Blinders did, so that didn't work. There's a mixed race community in Butte Town. I just thought it would be a nice way in. So he was going with a very specific inflection for this accent.
I liked him. I just didn't like what they had for him.
Yeah, that's about it for the trivia. And so yeah, after Secret Invasion, I'm just trying to see what's coming next.
What next?
I guess it's the Marvels.
Okay. So Marvel. No, I thought Marvels is November. I thought Loki's October, Marvel's November.
Loki. Okay, let me see. Loki.
Loki's October 6th.
Mm.
Loki is okay. So there's nothing until then.
which is good
It's fine.
Do,
They
do,
should
do,
take some
do.
time.
because
Get
right
the
now
X-Men
there's
in there.
strikes and you know.
I just want
Loki
X-Men
season-
97. I don't care about any of this. I just want X-Men 97. So
You gotta wait till
let's
next
get-
year.
Are you guys excited for Echo?
No.
I am actually.
You are.
Yeah, I am.
Just it'd be nice to see Kingpin and stuff, but I felt that actress had no charisma. Like ever
Yeah, I was
since
surprised they
Kingpin,
greenlit
she's
this
just
show without ever like really gauged that
It-
this character was.
It's the old policy where they're just more is more.
boring.
Ironheart is eventually coming out
Yep, I'm looking forward to that too.
She was cool in
in
Wakanda Forever.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it? What else are they working on?
Armor Wars, Agatha, Covenant of Chaos, Born
Captain
Again
America.
is
Daredevil Born Again.
yeah. That should be well. They can't wrap yet, but Captain America's done. They finish. They're
Yeah,
doing
that's where this
post-production.
story will be picked up in that because we'll have a new president.
Early next year, we will have Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah,
And then, Agatha will come out
forever from now, not
in
anytime.
2024 as well. So there's a lot next year.
Think of all the characters to make shows out of. There are so many good Marvel characters, and they're just like, let's just make an Agatha Harkness show. I mean, she was great in WandaVision, but like,
I don't get one
Special. Just make a special. Just
Yeah.
that's like they can tell a story in 45 minutes.
They're
Of what
bringing
they
back
really want.
Deborah Jo
It's
Rupp
awesome.
for that show too.
I'm happy to see what they're also bringing back Emma Caulfield.
yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, I like her,
and bringing in Aubrey Plaza.
which I'm always happy about.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to
did
phase 6 next.
No, we're still in phase 5,
Phase-
dude.
I can't. Who can keep track?
Who can-
I guess you guys can. Deadpool 3 is also coming out in
Oh
the
yes.
future, right?
Yes, yes.
We'll see what it is.
Deadpool kills the Fox universe. That's what that's gonna be.
We'll see how it is.
That's
I
going to
mean,
have your Wolverine in it and stuff, you know. So aren't you excited for that?
My
Dan?
Wolverine is a foot shorter and has no sleeves. But anyway,
He's not. Is Hugh Jackman not your Wolverine? Hashtag not my Wolverine.
He's never been my Wolverine. I talked
He's
about
never
that
been
on
your Wolverine?
X-Rated, and Andre gives me flack over. On
After all
X-Rated,
these years, he's
the
never
X-Men
won you
animated
over?
movie. Not really. I mean, he was better than most of the other characters on those terrible X-Men movies. That's
Would
not
you have
saying-
liked Doug Ray Scott to be Wolverine?
Who?
Doug Ray Scott.
The
I
guy
don't know who
from
that is.
Mission Impossible 2, he was the bad guy.
Yeah, he was supposed to be Wolverine,
I've
and
never
because
seen Mission Impossible.
any of them,
No, I don't
Oh.
like Tom Cruise.
fair.
2 hours of
Doug
Tom
Ray-
Cruise is too much for me. Too much. Way too much.
I think you'd like the first one. Out of all of them, I think you'd like the first one for sure. Because that's the one that everyone hates because it's like it's not actiony enough. It's actually a spy thriller. Doug Ray Scott was supposed to be Wolverine. He got the role, and because he was doing Mission Impossible 2, and John Woo needed to continue shooting and delay, he had to lose the role, and Hugh Jackman was picked up as
Was
a
he
replacement.
5'3"?
No, but I believe he is shorter than Hugh Jackman. And then
Hashtag my Wolverine is short.
Hashtag. That's a long hashtag.
Yep. It'll catch on. There's a lot of people that are with me there on that one.
yeah, next
So you guys
Wolverine
know we're
should be short.
Part of a United Federation of podcasts.
We are.
This
not
is
just
true.
This one.
This is true. There's a whole federation.
As we were talking about, there is X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show.
Very true.
We're getting there. We're into the final season now, and we have an interview coming up with the voice of Nightcrawler. That'll be fun, and lots more to come on X-Rated as we wait for X-Men 97. We had Eamon on track today.
Yeah, he talks about the Bee Gees, one night only.
Mhm.
Jive talking, telling me lies. It's
Is Eamon going to do a review specifically on a Starship Rhapsody?
I haven't asked him to do that.
That music's not worth ever playing again.
What do you
That was
mean?
just-
There's all kinds of great tunes in it, like Ahura singing. Yeah.
I keep asking.
Actually,
honestly-
Dave, I have a 2-year-old. That is from Frozen. So you're mistaken.
I think there was only really one good song out of the entire lot.
Chapels?
And yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, Chapels too.
I worked so hard for this, and now the fellowship sees me as one of their own. The sky is the limit, my future is infinitely possible.
But still,
It seemed like
very generic. Could have been AI turned out.
True, but it was at
So
least
sweet.
like the most musical
It was
sequence out of it, and then
a little loungy. It was
yeah, which I enjoyed
me
personally.
too. Oh, I did.
Spock's reprise, which is "I'm the X," which I felt it should have been closer to hers a little bit more. I think they strayed too far away for it to be an actual proper reprise. But anyway, live long and podcast. Yeah,
That's what we're talking about.
Are we singing?
But why are we talking about Star Trek? Because we have a whole channel that talks about Star Trek,
That's right.
and we have many divisions. And
Tomorrow we're
We have
starting
great stuff.
season 4 of Star Trek Enterprise at our rewatch series over there.
that long road continues.
excellent, excellent. There's a trivia. The trouble with trivia in the not too distant future.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll probably have to start putting a debate 9 or a Class L probe together here soon. There's Treckle Trunks on the way. There's the locutors of the Treks audio.
Maybe a
podcast
review about
coming.
Resurgence because I
Uh,
played it a while ago and I'm waiting for everyone else to finish.
It'll never be me.
Will Murph
Murphy will.
and
And Michael, maybe.
no I believe our Bajoran workers are also might be
Oh,
playing
are
it too.
Okay. The Millards.
Yeah.
The Bajoran Millards.
Sorry, I think Ashley finished playing it too. Ashley finished. So maybe it might be a World Mind Ashley, me kind of production.
Well, here on the Mary Mater Marvel Society, we are like a subunit of the Super Mater Brothers podcast.
That's right.
So right now we're covering Big Brother.
We
the
should be covering that tonight.
premiere episode we did on Wednesday, and the second episode is tonight at 8:00,
Which is
and
happening right now. So
happening right now. And we should be doing an episode shortly, so just keep an eye on our socials. And our next episode after tonight-ish will be on Wednesday.
that's
Did you
right.
guys know my co-host over at X-Rated also has the Graphic Histories podcast?
Yes.
We know about him.
Mayette. Yes, that's true. Just did an interview with Steve the Dude Rude. Go check that out. Eisner award-winning artist. And there's also the Hellbound podcast with Alex Blackburn and Michael Chan.
Yep.
They're on hiatus, but they'll be back.
Just like KBBL, which you should all go back and listening to and demand more episodes of KBBL.
But look,
KBBL.
we're doing Hellbound and Hold Up, a movie podcast crossover episode this Halloween. Michael Chan will be on, and we'll be talking about what are we gonna be talking about? Like what is it? Ghosts. Yes, ghosts. That's the one.
Are one of the movie choices Ghost Dad?
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
No, Ghost Dad. Ghost Dad is off the menu. Everybody, you can put your Ghost Dad away for good. I tore up my Fat Albert records. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but you don't need Ghost Dad in your house anymore.
I have not got rid of all my Cosby
You got some
Show
Fat Albert
stuff.
records?
No, not Fat Albert. I have the Cosby the Complete series on DVD.
I see.
Yes.
Well, so we also have Hold Up a Movie Podcast, which I was looking for a proper logo for that reflected the episode that's coming up. But I don't. Oh, there it is. But that's the old logo. We're not watching Jurassic Park anymore. We're watching The Man from Earth instead, because of course Jurassic Park's great. It's Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park has
so
Samuel
Hold Up
Jackson.
a Movie Podcast. It's true. He's looking for more money. He's overworked. He's like a Disney CGI artist.
Yes.
So we'll be watching Quest for Fire 65 and The Man from Earth, our prehistory themed episode on Hold Up a Movie Podcast. Check that out as well.
Okay.
And that's it. That's the entire. Oh, and Trivial Debates.
Trivial Debates. One should be coming up, I think, later this month.
Coming up soon.
Yeah,
Watch out.
Office themed. So, well, I guess that's pretty much it from us. Our music was supplied by Humanoid VFX from Pixabay. Check that out. So I'm going to play it now. Any final thoughts other than this?
One last fight.
Elektra's going to be in Deadpool 3 too.
We'll see.
Jennifer Garner.
Recasting her. Oh, yeah, her. Yeah.
We'll see. Unless they
not
decide to cut the seed.
Remember the Elektra movie?
I did.
Tried not to. I had it on VHS. No, I had it on
It was
DVD.
better than this Secret Invasion show.
No.
That's my final thought.
There's your final thought.
I'm going to go back and watch Elektra with Jennifer Garner.
My
You
final
have to
thought
watch that now
is
just because you said that.
my final thought is that Daredevil director's cut with Ben Affleck isn't as bad as people think. Go check it out, because
I liked
I wouldn't
that
be
movie,
surprised if he
actually.
shows up in Deadpool.
I wouldn't either. Everyone's going to show up. The whole Fox thing is going to kill them all. It's Deadpool kills the Fox universe. That's definitely what that movie is. Anyway, catch it later, everybody.